did you bring us here?
To escape to the ship.
No, why did you bring us to a pirate port full of pirates?
Because we are also pirates.
We are not pirates.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew is looking to deliver a Goonies in space adventure, but can it truly capture the charm that made the Goonies so beloved? Or will it fall into the same traps as less successful Star Wars series like The Acolyte? Let's get into it. So the show starts and we're introduced to 4 kids who live on a mundane planet called Atatin, which has an uncanny resemblance to Earth in American suburbs. And you know what? I'm glad, for once it's not based on another barren and desolate planet, which actually helps set the story apart and gives it a different feel. So anyway, one day on the way to school, main character Wim misses his school bus and decides to take a shortcut, when he stumbles across what he thinks is a Jedi temple. Then, through a series of events, we're introduced to the rest of the gang, and later that night they work together to open the hatch to see what's inside. Once inside, the gang realises that it's not a Jedi temple, but in fact an old spacecraft. Then of course, through your typical cliches, the kids accidentally activate the ship's autopilot and fly off into space, starting their adventure in a galaxy far, far away. Now, what's great about this show is it isn't tied to the same old characters that we've seen time and time again, trying to please fans with endless cameos.
We need to talk.
This story does something I actually want to see more of in Star Wars, and that's given us standalone unique stories, original characters and fresh new perspectives of the galaxy than what we've seen previously. Pacing wise, I think the show does really well. With the episode runtimes being between roughly 30 and 50 minutes, I felt like each episode had enough time to tell the story it needed to, and none of the episodes dragged. Like, I never found myself checking the timer out. In terms of the main cast, they all fit into the stereotypical archetypes, ripped off from inspired by the Goonies. You've got the naive but enthusiastic lead who dreams of exploration and adventure, the mouthy, tough-talking rival, the clumsy and cowardly friend who complains a lot and just wants to go home, and of course, the tech nerd. Sure, the cast doesn't have the exact same likeability as the cast of the Goonies, but they all do a great job in their own right, and each character gets a decent amount of development throughout the series. The kids eventually run into Jude Law's character Jadnan Arwood, a pirate captain whose crew recently mutineered against him. Jod believes the children when they tell him they're from Atatin, which unknowingly to them is a lost Old Republic gold reserve and a fabled pirate legend. And so, pretending to be a Jedi, Jod promises to return the children home safely.
You can do anything. Yeah, you're a Jedi, right?
Of course.
Now, I've got to say Jude Law played his part perfectly throughout the series. When he pretends to be a Jedi, even to the audience is believable, even though we've seen that as a cutthroat pirate, in which he also plays the conniving, backstabbing pirate role to perfection too. He's charming with his charisma, but also isn't hesitant about showing his darker side when he needs to.
There it is!
He's essentially everything a pirate should be, and a great antagonist. The star of the show though in my opinion is SM-33, an old pirate droid, first mate to the Onyx Cinder and voiced by Nick Frost, who steals the spotlight in pretty much every scene that is in. Now, was the show perfect? No, not by any means. I mean, Brutus's head design was, to put it politely, shit. It's like they ordered a gold arm mask from Wish. It's also not clear exactly what happens to Jude Law's character at the end of the series. The last we see of him is Dud watching his plan fail, then it gives us the whole good guys have won, happily ever ending stuff. But we don't actually see what happens to his character at the end of the show. Like, was he caught? Did he escape? Guess we'll find out if they do a season 2. As for how the series ends as a whole, it's fitting for a show marketed mainly towards kids, but as Star Wars fans, you know that happy ending isn't gonna last. I mean, let's face it, those kids have truly fucked Atatin over by going on the little adventure. Yeah, the New Republic arrived and saved the day, but the planet of Atatin is the last Old Republic mint. Now, this is just a theory, but as shown in other Star Wars shows, the New Republic is slowly being infiltrated by the First Order, and we know from the terrible Star Wars sequels, episodes 7, 8 and 9,
I hate them so much!
Anyway, from the sequel trilogy, we know that the First Order is successful in pretty much destroying the New Republic. Well, I guess now we've discovered how the First Order's going to get its funding, and you've probably guessed where I'm going with this. Atatin. So I don't think this will be the last we see of the Skeleton Crew, Captain Jod, or Atatin itself. Overall, I'd say the Skeleton Crew is a decent show. Is it perfect? No, but it's a fun adventure that manages to pull off the Goonies vibe in space, so I honestly recommend giving it a watch. But what did you think of Skeleton Crew? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, peeps, stay frosty.